Welcome back, guys. Of course, it's me and Brad here. We're just cranking out these long ass vids for y'all. But welcome
The
back.
late night.
Welcome back to MCubed. On this video, we're actually going to go over some Star Wars and the current slate and state of Star Wars. So,
Yes,
of course, I'm here with Bradley. How you doing, bud? It's been a long night so far.
it has.
But we're on one. We're on one.
Totally. I mean, this is not new for us. It's just this time we're rolling. Normally we're just up this late talking about just for fun. Whatever these are all our deep loves and
just entertainment.
Yes.
Fiction, nerd stuff,
Of course. And Star Wars, as the audience will see for today's or this video's topic rather, this has been a love of ours for early childhood. So this is something, 20 years of loving Star Wars.
It's my first love. So
yeah, truly. So, I'm really excited just to talk about, just like, what the audience will see with Marvel and hopefully with DC, they all have experienced their dark periods. And I think, with Star Wars especially, I think we're finally turning it around in terms of getting out of the dark age. People bitch about the prequels, but I would say they're low IQ. The prequels are pretty awesome. And that's not just nostalgia, because I went through a period where I didn't like the prequels either. Like, I liked them as a little kid. Then sort of in the middle period, I was like, well, I don't really enjoy them that much, honestly. And now I'm like, it's all of this is the bell curve.
Right.
Where it's like the dumb people, and by dumb people, I mean like the casual fans. They're like, yeah, they're all Star Wars is cool, right? Their prequels are cool. And then the midwits are the ones that no, they suck. It's not like the old trilogy. There's bad CGI and the writing is wooden. And then you have the high IQ people that actually love Star Wars the most. They're like, there's all these like high level, high concept political things happening. It's Shakespearean dialogue and all of this, which of course is George talks about openly. So
he does.
The sequels aren't even part of it. The sequels is for the midwits,
right? Who want that feel of the OT, but it doesn't
none of the substance.
Right.
So, in any case, I think me and you obviously and our core friend group, we're all on the high IQ level of like, we actually love Star Wars. I actually love Star Wars.
I don't think there's any piece of fiction I love more than Star Wars. I don't think so. And like we just talked for hours on DC, and I love it, but like there's nothing like Star Wars. Again, A New Hope's the first movie I ever remember watching. That's obviously not like a super kid movie or anything like that, but again, Star Wars is for kids, it's for anyone. It's just, I don't know, just not played down to be super kiddish or super adult, but it has adult themes. Sure. Again, it has
universal themes.
It's universal themes that anyone can love and enjoy. That's why I think it is like the most beloved franchise to ever exist, because there's a reason people are so passionate about it. Mm-hmm. Like for any version of it, like sequels, prequels, or the original trilogy, or just Star Wars as a whole, like it's just one of those things that just hits people on such a spiritual level. Mm-hmm. I think that was the point of it for George. Like,
yes,
because it has a ton of spiritual themes, light and dark, good and evil. The Force, a feeling.
Anakin as a savior. He's a Christ figure.
Yes, indeed. But again, it's one of the most beloved things in existence. And again, it's one of ours for sure. So
of course,
I guess let's just get into it. So with Star Wars, of course, we've loved it all since we were kids. Original trilogy is the first main movie series I've ever watched. And then I remember watching like the prequels on VHS tapes, because I didn't see Phantom Menace in theaters because I was only like 1 year old. I didn't see Attack of the Clones because I was like 3 or 4 maybe. But we get to Revenge of the Sith. That's the first movie I saw in theaters. It changed me. That's where I'm like, yeah, this is literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. Of course, I watched like 1 and 2 all the time as a kid. I watched the original trilogy all the time. So it's my biggest love, right? And then it gets to a point in 2012 where it's like, oh, Disney's buying Star Wars. So we're like, okay, cool. So I guess that means we're actually going to get new Star Wars content, because at that point, that's 7 years since we had Revenge of the Sith.
It was all just games and books.
But there was also
Clone Wars,
right? We got the theatrical release of basically the first few episodes of Clone Wars, which isn't that good. But then Clone Wars gets to be like really good. So Disney bought Star Wars. Clone Wars ended because of that, and they released Rebels. That was the first thing that was Disney Star Wars, and it was good. Rebels is actually quite a good show. I'm a big fan of it, actually.
I love the lore of it. I just don't really enjoy watching it.
but the lore is really good. Like
I mean, there's some good scenes regardless. I just don't really enjoy it like I do Clone Wars.
It goes deep into it. But Clone Wars, I mean, of course, like you have Anakin, Obi-Wan, like Yoda, Mace, you have all Grievous, Dooku, all those types of characters, right? Like that we grew up with. With Rebels, there's a lot of new characters, but then there's Ahsoka and Vader and Maul, and then Thrawn eventually, which is sick. That was a big day. It was like a trailer for season 3. They showed it at Star Wars Celebration. I think this was like probably like I think it was around the time Force Awakens was coming out. I believe. I think it was like a Star Wars Celebration right before Force Awakens, because I remember that's the trailer where they showed like Han going, Chewie, we're home, or whatever. And I think they showed the trailer for Rebels, and then you see Thrawn, and I know people lost their shit.
Yeah.
But again, it could have been that year. It could have been the year afterwards. I'm not sure.
I want to say it's after, because after Force Awakens, I read the original Thrawn trilogy, and I remember being excited of like, oh shit, he is canon now.
Yeah.
I think it was 2016.
Okay. Well, I mean, either or. I mean, so we get Rebels, and then we get to The Force Awakens, which was the start of the new version of Star Wars, you know, like since Disney owned it, live action. And to me and Brad, like this is just a fantastic foundation of what the continuation of what Star Wars was like from the original trilogy.
I saw it 4 times.
Right. It's awe-inspiring. It was an epic first viewing, like seeing Star Wars for the first time in a theater, live action. Because again, like we saw Revenge of the Sith when we were like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah, I think I was 5.
But that was last time, and then we see it, like 10 years later.
Yeah, a whole decade.
16, 17 years old. But that's crazy. Yeah.
I wore a fucking Kylo Ren costume.
Well, what's crazy is that it was you, me, our buddies Chris and Josh. And I remember coming out of that movie, you and me loving it.
Yeah.
Chris thought it was okay, but Josh really liked it. You know?
Yeah.
That's what was crazy to me. I remember Josh really loving that movie.
It was all positive from us.
Right. Like Chris, like he didn't love it, but like I think he still found some good in it though.
Of course.
That's what it was for that movie. It was the idea of just being back in this world. Like, and it had a lot of similar themes from like A New Hope and other Star Wars movies.
It felt like they cared.
They cared about the legacy of these characters in this movie. You know, like Harrison Ford gives one of his best performances ever, and it's as Han Solo, which is awesome.
Well, then we get Rogue One. So we're still going up.
Which was a year later. Yeah, and Rogue One was excellent. Yeah, it was 2016, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that movie was sweet. It's definitely the best looking Star Wars movie, I would say.
Yeah.
From top to bottom. I recently rewatched it, and I liked it a little bit more.
I did pretty recently as well.
Because I mean, I think people kind of jerk it off a lot, but I do like it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, but I just jerked off a little bit.
It's good Star Wars content, but I think it's very jerked off. But then we get to the dark times.
The Empire.
So then The Last Jedi happens.
This is our, for me and you, I remember the most anticipated movie
ever.
We were like, this could go in any direction. Because this could go anywhere and it's going to be nuts.
Because, dude, it literally had some of the best trailers I've ever seen, too.
Yes.
It was crazy. What I said earlier about The Force Awakens is how it respected the legacy of these characters, you know? How Luke's is like this myth or this galaxy-wide hero, where Han Solo is this famous captain of the rebellion. And then Leia is now like an actual general, like
she's the leader now.
She is the leader of this new rebellion.
Yes. There was mystery again.
And there was mystery to all of them. Like what had they been through during this 30 years? You know? Mm-hmm. And that's what all the fans were wanting to know too. It's like we haven't seen Luke, Han, or Leia since Return of the Jedi, which is a long time. But anyway, then we get to The Last Jedi, where I think it takes that and shits on the legacy.
I remember my analogy is JJ basically, he sets up the alley-oop, right? He literally like they fast braked,
sauces it up.
They literally they took the fast break from all of the haters. They got out in front of the entire team. JJ is just beautiful alley-oop. The most perfect spot you can put in. And Ryan Johnson, that piece of shit, deserves to never work again. Takes the ball.
Does a little hop and flop on his face.
He literally travels, for one. and then he takes the ball and he slams it into the backboard. And it bounces off the backboard
that goes all the way to
flies all the way to half court. The other team takes it. They go to the other side and they dunk it. That's the end. That's the end of the game. You lose the finals.
You lose by 1.
Yeah, you lose by the 1. Yeah, because the other team's down.
Yeah, you're about to close it here, bro.
You're about to win. You're about to score 2 more points. So they need 2 buckets if you make the shot, but you miss because you try to be cool. He tries to like put it under his legs and it just.
Oh yeah, he definitely does like a behind the leg 360.
Dude, yeah, he tries to do all this, and JJ is just like it's like that picture of LeBron where he's like, he's like pointing over there. It's like that's right. JJ.
JJ is LeBron, right?
JJ is LeBron from that one meme.
Because Ryan's just trying so hard to be super artistic about this movie and try to,
or it's like edgy or just something like that. It's
edgy because he wants this movie to be like, it's not what you thought it would be.
It's my Star Wars.
It's my Star Wars.
It's mine. It's mine.
Let the past die. And it's like, no, like love it, learn from it, be better from it. Just don't erase it. There's good qualities to it though. Like that's the thing. Like with any movie you can find.
Yeah, there's good scenes. There is.
In some like shit movies, you can find some corn in there, like where there's still, it's not just all shit.
You can find the gold nuggets.
Yeah.
It's not all shit.
It's not all shit, but majority. Like it's just, again, this movie, it's a beautiful looking movie. I'd argue it's the second best looking Star Wars movie in terms of visuals, but it's mostly it's a screenplay issue, I would say.
It is totally a screenplay issue.
Because a lot of this movie is just brought down by some weird subplots involving Poe with like a possible mutiny on his ship, which amounts to nothing, which is a big problem.
That's the big problem with the whole movie is nothing happens.
No, nothing happens because it's all about like it's edging the movie, it's like it's getting you there, but then it just stops. And
I watched a couple really good analysis videos recently, and one of them was just like, for one, he literally knows nothing about Star Wars.
No.
I don't think he's seen the prequels. I doubt he has.
I doubt it, because how do you have a casino planet with the elite and you don't have one single alien race from like any of Star Wars? Like not one.
No, not one.
No Twi'lek, no Duros, no Rhodians, nothing.
Nothing. And I know for a fact he hates Star Wars. You don't make that movie if you like Star Wars. You don't. You don't make the movie if you're a competent writer either. He's not a competent writer. I know you like Looper though.
Looper's actually one of the better sci-fi movies of recent years. I recommend it, but
I've seen parts of it.
I think it's really good. But how are you the guy, right, to bring back Luke Skywalker to a new audience, to old audience, and you make him this hermit who just is black-pilled and has no faith or no hope, where he is the new hope? This is the guy who brought Anakin Skywalker back, where Darth Vader believed to have killed Anakin. Anakin was still in there, and Luke saw that and brought him back to the light, redeemed him. But then his nephew has one bad dream and he tries to murder his nephew. It makes zero sense. Like, this isn't Luke Skywalker.
No, it's Jake.
It's Jake Skywalker. George Lucas would throw up over this movie.
Yeah.
Anything he says positive about it is just like, it has to be in a contract to just like to fake adore everything Disney does so it gets good press.
I would say it is just a basic kind of business thing. It's like, you're not going to really publicly trash it, even though his wife publicly trashed it.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. She said it was literally like, these movies are horrible.
Wow.
And she's the one that really saved the first Star Wars in the editing room.
Without her, like, that movie's honestly, it's not as big as it is now. There's no question.
No, it's just, he can't be everything. He just wasn't a good editor.
Because she won best editing at the Oscars, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because she literally saved that movie. It's insane.
Yeah, I think she knows what she's talking.
She knows a thing or two.
Yeah.
But again, The Last Jedi is just one of those movies. Like, again, it has good scenes, has some good visuals. And then, of course, you have the man who carries the whole franchise on his back, Adam Driver.
Yeah.
It's Kylo Ren. It's actually ridiculous.
You could really have two people that could carry it, but you give Oscar Isaac nothing.
Right, because Oscar's an unbelievable actor.
Yes, you give him jack shit.
They're all good actors.
They all are good actors.
Literally, except I'd say Carrie's not a good actor, but
no, she's not.
Mark gave a good performance though in this movie, I would say.
Yeah, he did.
For what he had.
He did.
But he obviously didn't like that movie. He knows more than anything, like, this is not Luke.
Luke is me.
I'm Luke.
It's just absurd.
But it's just crazy. Like in the last movie, you like Han Solo's the main character of that movie out of the original three, where Luke is the main character of the second one, I would say. Where Leia was supposed to be the main character of the three in the third one, but Carrie died. But I like that idea of that plot structure. But I don't like.
I do too.
I don't like the idea of killing them all off in each movie as that plot structure. Like Han makes complete sense. Luke and Leia. No.
Zero.
At least not killing Luke off in the second movie. Like you're not gonna have Luke Skywalker and be in the absolute climax of the movie fighting someone. Makes zero sense. Climax of the Skywalker saga. He's the Skywalker. Like he's the one who brought Anakin back. Like he is the new hope. He is the one looking out into the binary sunset. Luke Skywalker is Star Wars. And you make it a movie where it's like you don't care about that legacy. You don't care about Luke Skywalker. And that's
you don't care of making like a competent character basically with like the right there's no continuity.
Right. Well, that's what's crazy to me. Like with Force Awakens, like Han, we never miss a beat with him, you know? Like he's still Han Solo. Like he's still a very sarcastic, roguish guy, but he still has the biggest heart.
Yes. He just wants his son to be okay.
And he's some guy who got roped into all of this, you know?
Yeah, literally. He was hiring to give somebody a ride.
But he became a general of
literal general in a civil war.
And a hero.
Hero
during a civil war. Literally, people know the name Han Solo. But again, what's wrong with this movie is like with Force Awakens, I think you introduced one of the more interesting characters that could have ever been in Star Wars with Finn, where you have a literal stormtrooper. But we've never really seen anything like that. These stormtroopers are like basically NPCs, you know, they're just shooting at you. Like there's no character to them really at all.
He has a conscience.
Except for the one that bonks their head in A New Hope, you know? That's the only thing that really is. Otherwise, there's people like the kill in the Star Wars movies. But now you have one that's like, this is not me. It's not what I'm meant to do. And it's brilliant. And then they almost had it in this movie too. But again, it's literally the edging thing with this movie. It's the nope factor where it's like Finn's about to become a hero of the resistance to give them a chance to get away by blowing up this machine that's going to take them all out and let all these basically AT-ATs and all these ground troops from keeping you, or that's going to blow up your last remaining defense. And Finn's gonna literally take out like the mini Death Star like weaponry, whatever the hell that was. But
your battering ram,
right? But he's literally about to make the hero sacrifice in this movie. It's a beautiful scene. I was tearing up. I was like,
I was too, man.
Like it's beautiful.
I literally was like, no way, they're going for it.
And they should have, because he does not matter in the third movie.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's just to make him like to be force sensitive, and it's like, and scream out Rey, and it's like, this is stupid, bro.
Why is he wasting his time?
But I like that. But like, I wouldn't kill off Finn, but if they did, like the way they had it structured to look like in The Last Jedi, beautiful ending to that character. But he just doesn't seem like this guy that would be like the hero of the resistance that people would talk about for ages to come, you know, like a Han Solo, you know. Him dying in that moment would have been.
Yeah, I think it would have totally elevated people's perception of the character, and it would have been a fitting ending.
Right.
And I have got nothing to fight for. We all should run. Then that turns into, I'm going to sacrifice myself for everyone. I have something to fight for. I have friends.
Right.
And it makes me sad even thinking about it. Like, that's a beautiful message. You literally ruin that so some fat bitch can like run into your
dude again, dude. I'm telling you, it's everything in this movie. Literally everything. It's like with the Snoke scene, like they kill off Snoke, ridiculous. But then it makes it seem like it's like a redemption moment for Ben. Like
right.
It's like the Vader redemption scene in a way. But then it's like, nope, join me, Rey. It's like, all right, it's literally bait and switch the movie. And it
yes, that's completely right.
And that's what makes it not a good movie. It's like it's fine to like blow away expectations in a certain way, or like
subvert expectations.
Yeah.
Like a twist.
Like a twist. With almost every major plot line, or every single subplot gets to that point of being like, nope, literally everything.
I would say it's all set up and no payoff, but there's no setup to anything either.
No, but then even the Yoda scene, it's like Luke is going to get the Jedi text, and then Yoda just burns it to the ground, even though he knows that Rey took the text, but still, it's still like I don't know, it's just literally everything. It's every single piece of plot in this film.
And he controls lightning now.
Yeah.
It's a horrible, horrible, horrible movie. And then we get to the even worse.
Then we get to on par with a Justice League, one of the worst.
Yeah, this is also a cinematic abortion. Yeah. This is one of the worst films of all time. The Rise of Skywalker, of course. I never saw it in theaters. I saw it a year later, or probably 7 or 8 months later on Disney Plus. Admittedly, we were using some drugs. And I was just laughing the whole time.
No,
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that this was a movie that people paid to see in theaters.
Right.
I could not believe it.
I mean, I saw it in theaters and I'm like, okay, all right, this movie has to make things right. It has to.
Even had a good trailer.
It did have a good trailer.
And then we thought, okay, so they're doing the Dark Empire thing. Palpatine will be back. Rey has to like face the temptation idea. That's cool.
Yeah. With any bad movie, there's going to be some good stuff in there.
I actually think it has some pretty solid cinematography at times.
Right. I mean, of course,
some very cool shots.
I mean, you have JJ doing it, you know, it's like you'll have good shots and you'll have some solid performances.
Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, Driver's trying his hardest.
Driver, I don't know why he tried.
Dude, and then of course, I mean, let's not forget, if we're talking about the writing, our boy Terrio gets shit upon again.
It's actually ridiculous, dude.
He literally after this, kind of like Ben with Justice League, he swore to never do another IP film again. Again, his vision was completely squandered from day one.
And it sucks, man.
To the point that, you know, he said in I have the concept art book, and he says in there that they were forced to rewrite every single day during filming.
That's why you're going to get a movie like that, dude. Like, what's crazy is that I know Daisy...
But we like some sequences.
Right, of course. I mean, you're going to get some good shit every now and again. But what absolutely blows my mind is how they did not have a single plan. I mean, JJ probably had a plan originally, but like these all feel like 3 separate movies that are all like fan fiction. It's like someone watches The Force Awakens, which feels like a good foundation that will have a main storyline, right?
Yes. We had to know the characters first.
But then with 2 or The Last Jedi, it's a fan fiction. You know, it's like, oh, this is what I would do after The Force Awakens, okay? And then that's the same thing with Rise of Skywalker, where some one's like, yeah, I don't like The Last Jedi that much, so I'm going to kind of make my own version of what would come after that movie. There was no planning at all, because even Daisy Ridley said, like, yeah, I didn't know Palpatine was going to be my grandfather until like a month before shooting or something like that. She said something. I'm definitely misquoting a little bit, but there was no plan at all. Not even from the beginning. That is criminal.
Well, George provided them with a plan.
Yeah, and they threw it out the window.
And JJ even left notes for Ryan.
Right, and Ryan threw those out the window.
Colin tried to have a plan too, but Ryan wouldn't cooperate.
Right, and then Disney fired Colin because he's like, no, we gotta work together on this. Like, you won't give me any creative control, and you're gonna let this doucher like just take over the reins. Because for some reason, Kathleen Kennedy loves Rian Johnson more than anyone else on the planet.
Probably strokes her ego, has the same politics.
Right, and literally offers
is also as dumb as her as a person.
Yeah, and offers him a whole new trilogy of different movies.
Right. I don't think those are happening anymore.
No, I don't think so either.
Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Maybe that's an inappropriate reference, but
a little bit.
But Star Wars was in bondage. Also, let's get a physiognomy check on Rian Johnson. His testosterone levels have to be at 0. Again, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, Rian Johnson. If I ever see you, man, you better pray and run the other way, dog. It's not gonna be pretty. We're throwing down for what you've done, for your sins. You're going down, dog. Like, this is so offensive and so egregious.
You spit at George Lucas with this movie.
You did, and I'll be honest, man. I don't blame JJ for the Rise of Skywalker fully.
You can't.
People do, but again, when he was trying to...
JJ, he literally got brought in like a year before, like not even a year before they were going to start production on this.
Yeah.
And so they had to write a whole new script.
He tried to get Chris. I think him and Chris just got completely shafted.
I think they tried. I think they did. I think they're like, listen, like with the last movie, fans hated it. We have to do something to bring them back. But then I know, Kathleen Kennedy and other higher ups were just like, all right, you need to bring in Palpatine to appeal to old fans.
Yep.
You need to have Luke be a Force ghost and lift the X-Wing out of the water, just as fan service. You need to Just do
get the classic, like, redemption of
you do some
Kylo.
small little things, retcon some problems people had with the Last Jedi. Like, why don't we just pull a holdo or shoot our ships into these Star Destroyers? And then someone's like, that was a 1 in a million shot. And it's like, all right, all right. It's literally retcon the movie. Like, these movies have no room to be a film.
No, they're not. They're not real movies. I mean, The Force Awakens, I think, is.
Force Awakens is a real movie. Again, it's a foundation. Like, it's good. It has good characters. It gives you this world as it is now, 30 years after Return of the Jedi. It had potential. That's the main thing.
It did. It set up, again, the unlimited possibilities.
And that's the thing. That's why we're going to bring this out now. Bradley and I are, in fact, writing our own version of an episode 8 that we will eventually talk to you about and release online. We don't know when that'll be because we are working on an actual show that we can make, because this would be more for fun.
Yeah, this would be kind of us self-advertising.
Right. This would be us being like, Lucasfilm, we know Star Wars. All right.
Right.
This is what you should have done. And the fans would eat this up
because it's so unique. The way that I always conceived of it is like we have to do our own thing, but we both, I mean, I'll speak for myself at the very least. I have spent countless hours watching lore videos, reading some of the novels from various points in the old canon, especially the Thrawn trilogy. I took so many elements. We talked about how we can bring in
everything,
different big concepts from that trilogy, which is, again, why I think it appeals to everyone, because you combine the prequels, the OT, the new characters, and the old canon to synthesize into a conclusion to the Skywalker saga, which I have called the Skywalker ascendancy, because you have the Skywalkers as a family sort of rise to the position of like legends and saviors of the galaxy. I don't know if we have to describe any more than that for now, but basically, we have the plot mostly figured out. We have to,
we have small things, but
we'd have to come up with, like, from scene to scene what's literally going to happen, but we have the basic plot down.
We have episode 8 completely down, and 9,
yes,
and we even have a 9 like somewhat plotted, but not.
Yeah, we could release like a synopsis for episode 9, like if we were going to announce that the movie has like started pre-production and like this is the basic idea. And I started the very first draft of this right after I saw Force Awakens, and I then presented it to Schmook of like, hey man, like, I mean, it was for a class originally, of like an English class, try to write something. And I was like, I could try to write a script. And, I wrote these very rough, like 20 pages. And then we, showed it to him, and, kind of the rest is just been going on in the back burner for years, kind of like our actual television show. The point being is that that's how they should have approached it.
You got to make it a love letter.
Yes.
To Star Wars.
Yes. You combine everything to create something new.
Legends, every trilogy, video games, everything. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The only part that matters is that, it just thematically has one sort of meaning, like it thematically is solid.
There has to be a point.
That's the biggest thing with the sequels. They are utterly pointless.
There's no point to these movies.
No, they don't change anything.
We're literally, prequels are like a Shakespearean story about a fall.
The fall of a government, the fall of the sacred order,
and the fall of
one man,
of a hero.
Yes, the fall of a hero, absolutely.
And then the original trilogy is just like this very hopeful, religious,
classic hero's journey thing.
Classic hero's like soulful journey. Like,
yes.
Where this, I can't tell you a single theme from this trilogy.
I mean, all you need to know is the fact that they literally say, let the past die.
Yeah, kill the past. Here's these old heroes from your childhood back again. Let's just kill them off right away. Give us your money.
And they're all like depressed, and they all don't really do much at all.
Right. I'll give Han a little bit more than that, but everyone else knows.
That's why I said basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Han actually is the only one that gets a journey.
And Lando doesn't matter.
Lando doesn't matter. Wedge doesn't mean anything. He's in it for one shot.
Really a shot.
I mean, I don't want to speak fully on this, but probably considered next to Luke one of the most famous pilots of the rebellion, and really doesn't get talked about at all. I would love if he was Poe's mentor, but whatever. Right.
It's literally Wedge, Luke, Lando, and Han are literally the most famous pilots from the rebellion.
Yeah. And, they all get treated like shit. So, it's whatever.
It is what it is. But now we can go into where there's a new dawn, like the binary sunrise is upon us.
I think so. And I think it really started with
We're at the end
conclusion of Clone Wars.
At the end of Rise of Skywalker, I feel like we're at a point of being like Luke, looking out into the horizon, like thinking there's something more out there, some hope. There has to be. And now the sun is rising, and I believe it. And you're right. You brought up with the return of Clone Wars. This was the first thing from Disney that wasn't Rebels or Rogue One or Solo. We didn't even talk about Solo. I will say that.
That could be like a whole 20-minute video on its own, just for the history of that one.
Right. We don't have to go super into Solo, but me and Brad both really enjoy Solo. Before we get
really like it.
But this was between Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, and people were shitting on it quite a bit, and that's why it made no money. It also shouldn't have come out in May, which I believe came out the same month as Infinity War, which is a problem.
Very dumb on Disney's part.
Like, why change it from December, which is what you've been releasing every movie in?
Really no motivation at all.
You need to give these movies room to breathe, because like, especially after The Last Jedi, where it's very mixed, an incredibly mixed film. And then that's why you have that poor taste in your mouth from a lot of the fans being like, I just don't want to see a Star Wars movie right now. So that's why it performed quite terribly at the box office, because it was a very expensive movie, because they literally filmed like almost a whole movie with different directors. When they brought
it was kind of a where like Snyder Cut is like a negative version of what happened to this movie.
Right, exactly, because at least this movie turned out to be like good, because Ron Howard's a competent director. That was a smart person
who's friends with George.
So at least you have someone who loves the material to work on it.
Who wouldn't want to make a movie about Han Solo? Come on.
And
Ron Howard's just a great filmmaker. I mean, or rather not great, but a competent filmmaker that makes good, solid movies every time.
Right. And then Ron can always he probably has George on speed dial, so it's like the perfect guy to have on board. And it turned out to be a great movie. I like the actor. I like Donald Glover as Lando. I like Emilia Clarke. It's always good to see Chewie, and you have Woody Harrelson in there. Like, what's not to love?
Oh, and let's not forget Darth fucking Maul.
And of course we get Maul. True. Which it doesn't seem like they're going anywhere with that, because they should easily make a sequel to this movie where it can be like Han doing a job for Jabba, which is like the main job where he would owe Jabba money. Then he has to work with Crimson Dawn in some aspect. And then you got to get Lando on board to help out. And it would work out, Like, I really want a Solo too. Like, that's something that's the one thing from that era that I want a sequel to. Like,
fully agree.
Because, I mean, Rogue One, you don't really need it, but we're getting a prequel show with Andor, and that's a good thing on the horizon, apparently. I mean, we'll get into that, but they're already somehow renewed through 3 seasons, even though we don't even have episode 1. We only have the pilot of this show, which is pretty crazy. But anyway, getting to like where it gets good again, because of course we had some good in the rough. I mean, for the most part, Disney Star Wars has been pretty great to me. It's literally only 2 movies, and then everything else I've actually really enjoyed. So
yeah, that's the same for me.
But it's hard when it's the middle part of the final trilogy, which should be one of the darkest movies ever made, and then the last movie should be one of the most heroic,
and epic,
hopeful like movies ever made. Clone Wars was epic when we got them finally finishing out the Clone Wars show. They
never forget watching that. I will never forget.
Because the last 4 episodes feels like a movie. The Maul versus Ahsoka fight is insane. And then you have Maul working with Ahsoka and Rex to get out of the Order 66 situation. And then, of course, you see Vader at the end. And that's one of my favorite Vader scenes, low-key, is in that final scene.
Clone Wars, I mean, it is a continuation of a story that it literally is like kind of like you add like 45 minutes to Revenge of the Sith.
Which is sick.
It's awesome. I mean, that's what we were saying. I remember we were watching it. I remember one of us said it was like, this needs to be like edited into the movie.
Oh, I want an HD supercut of this on Disney Plus.
Yes. I guarantee someone probably put that on Google Drive and did it.
No, I've actually have seen it. I mean, I haven't watched it all the way, but I've had a download of it at one point.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I need to get my eyes glued to that. Holy shit.
You can definitely find that. We should do that. We should just watch that.
Review it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But like, yeah, so all that is to say, they pull that off, and that's where I'm like, okay, that's in the pandemic too, right?
Right. Yeah, that was May of 2020.
Yeah, so it's like
it was good to have something there, like,
yeah, because I was in the dumps, but that was fucking so cool.
Right.
That was so great. I felt like I mean, it's so stupid to say like I felt like a kid, but all that is to say, I felt like that same, that same energy,
that childish glee, like
yes. I felt the love. I felt the love that we didn't get from the sequel films, clearly.
right.
The only person I know that did it on purpose is Ryan, but Dave Filoni he is the antithesis to Ryan Johnson.
Right. Well, he's literally the apprentice, the Padawan, the George.
Yes.
What we get through that is him working with Jon Favreau, where we get the Mandalorian.
Who's the man that, gave Iron Man the right spark.
Jon Favreau is the perfect guy to bring Star Wars back in live action.
Yes,
totally. With the Mandalorian, which is...
Yeah, and the Mandalorian changed the game.
The Mandalorian is easily one of my favorite shows of all time now because...
Yeah, definitely.
It's just Star Wars. It's well written. It's one of the best looking shows ever.
Yes, totally.
It's insane budget. It's
like pushing the boundaries of technology.
Yeah, and it has the best special effects studio working on it. So
of course, I mean, I think on that level too, they just wanted to make classic Star Wars. Like Dave and John know that Star Wars is a Western. Awesome. It's a Western fantasy series.
Right. And what's brilliant about it is that it's after the original trilogy. So it has the vibe of that, but it has a ton of prequel stuff in it.
Yes.
And that's
what we were saying about our own ideas. It synthesizes the different eras of Star Wars.
And that's why Mandalorian is one of the most successful shows out there. It has one of the best season finales I've ever seen in any show, where you see Luke.
Which season?
Season 2.
Yeah.
Where you see Luke Skywalker come in to save them all from these. They're not called Death Troopers, but
they're the Dark Troopers.
Dark Troopers, right? But Luke just wrecks shop, and it's one of the most badass things I've ever seen. Because it's actually nice to see Luke do something.
Ignite the green.
Actually use a lightsaber, which Ryan Johnson doesn't do because it's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's not even real.
That's another bait and switch to go for what I'm talking about. Luke's not even there. Luke's not even fucking there.
He doesn't care enough to show up.
He doesn't care enough to show up. He just does that and dies.
Yeah, it's the worst. But The Mandalorian is like the best.
It is the best. And then Book of Boba Fett's even the best too. Like seeing him on the teacher side of it.
Even though I know it's just a test from Luke to see what he would do, I'm also kind of like, well, I don't know. Luke would understand that
that's
the way to go is that the Jedi need to combine the discipline and the attachment.
Right. Well, that's what I think Luke would have learned throughout the original trilogy. He wouldn't know about this attachment unless it's from Ahsoka, who's not even a Jedi. The attachment issue is why Anakin fell, because it's forbidden, where it's just literally just talk it out. Like, these are the old ways. Like, I don't know.
You know why I think it is? And I just kind of put it together.
Why?
I think the attachment thing is because they know that that's what the Sith are about, is because they know that if people with enough power, physical power, the Force, have attachments that can warp their emotions.
Yeah.
And I think that attachment is the fear of loss.
I mean, to be fair, I don't need to judge Filoni, I suppose, because he gets Star Wars, and it's all about the balance idea. So the Jedi have to be away from the attachment to stay away from the evil, like the darkness.
That's what I mean, because again, it's fear of loss.
That's where our sequel trilogy would make sense, because that's the ultimate balance.
Yes.
We can't get into that. We would get into that after we write our episode 8 and 9, but it's epic to say that.
Yes. Yeah. And again, because I think we, kind of like them, we just get it.
Right. But Book of Boba Fett was pretty sweet for the most part. Mando's way better. It was still solid.
Boba was still sick. I mean, I think for my favorite part will forever be Cad Bane.
Like, Cad Bane was awesome. And then
Rancor was sick.
Luke was epic though.
The Luke and Ahsoka sequence was truly beautiful. I was in awe. But then, I could not believe it.
We've talked about all the current and the past of recent years. But now we have the future on the horizon, where in a few months, we could possibly get some of the best Star Wars content we've ever seen with Kenobi.
I am so excited.
We're going to get the rematch of the century.
That's right.
And we're going to see the most powerful Vader we've ever seen, or one of the most powerful. Well, just early, young, and angry.
Yeah, I think that, to quote Lex, this is the greatest gladiator match in the history of the world.
Yes.
And it is day versus night.
It is. It's the ultimate good and the ultimate evil at this time.
And it's brother against brother.
Brother against brother.
It's going to be really hard to fuck it up.
I know. I like the filmmaker.
She made a great episode, at least one of The Mandalorian.
She made 2. She made episode 3, which is a really good episode, where he saves Grogu from like the cloning people.
Yeah.
And that's right after he gets his new armor. So that's a good episode. And all the Mandos come in to help. And then she did the penultimate episode of season 1. That's where Gus Fring comes in and gives his whole speech. You have something I want.
Great episode. Great episode.
I trust her with this material.
Yeah.
And she's doing every episode, which is something new that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that.
So I think there's going to be a consistency to have the whole vibe, which I think that's a problem with Book of Boba Fett, in my opinion. I say less so with Mando, because Mando can be different because it feels more like a D&D story.
Of course. Yeah, but Boba needed to be much more of a connected, like clean and clear narrative.
Like what Kenobi's going to be.
Yes. Yeah, Boba, I think just truly, like in hindsight, the Boba show did not have any sort of purpose.
No, it's literally just to have Grogu be back with Mando. And I kind of disagree with that. Like, I don't think they should have done that quite yet. Like, literally the last time we see Grogu.
Oh, I totally agree with your point.
Like, it's just literally a year later, they're already back together. I would have liked it like midway through season 3 of Mando, maybe. But like, Grogu needed to spend more time with Luke.
Of course.
But it is what it is. But let's see what else we have on the horizon. We're gonna get a Bad Batch season 2. I know you didn't watch season 1, but it's pretty solid.
I've seen the first, I think, 2 or 3 episodes, and I thought it was all right.
The first episode's really good, though. Kind of feels
yes,
like
it is. It's awesome. It's awesome.
First episode,
I really enjoyed it.
But I think it gets pretty good. Has some really good episodes, but then of course, like it has some filler stuff. But that's just kind of how the animation side is. The animated shows of Star Wars, there's high highs, but then like I wouldn't say there's low lows, but it's very mid at times.
Yeah, that's totally true. I mean, that's how I feel about Rebels. It wasn't bad. It was just like mid.
It's hard to get through it sometimes, but when it's really good, it's insanely good. But
yeah.
After Bad Batch, but I don't even know if Bad Batch is supposed to come out this year anymore. I feel like it's getting delayed, but who knows?
They need to figure out their plans.
Dude, I don't know any of their plans at this point.
I like that.
But we're getting Andor for sure this year, I believe. Again, as I said earlier, it has 3 seasons greenlit, and we don't even have the pilot episode. So that's interesting.
We don't have a trailer.
All right, so they have a lot
we don't have one official image.
No.
We have one. I think they might have released one, like an announcement picture, but it might have just been a Rogue One set photo.
We're supposed to get Mando season 3 at the end of the year, but I have a feeling it might get delayed. I haven't seen anything about it. But
no, I actually saw today. That's a lie. I saw 3 leaked set photos.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There was one that looked kind of like an Imperial, like inside of somewhere, and then there was like a picture of like these red looking. They're like red like helmets.
Interesting.
I don't know what they went to, but they looked perhaps Empire or perhaps Mandalorian. I couldn't really tell. It was kind of blurry.
Next year, I would assume we get a Andor season 2, because I think Andor is gonna be like a show like Mando. They're gonna try to have come out every year.
Okay.
But then I believe we would get Ahsoka next year, and then I could be forgetting some other live action thing they have planned, but I'm pretty sure the Rangers of the New Republic is scrapped. I could be wrong. I just remember the
Patty Jenkins movie.
No, that was a show.
Oh, that's Rogue Squadron. Yeah, that's her movie, right?
Yeah, but I think that's scrapped for sure. A Star Wars movie is supposed to come out next December, I believe, but I don't think that's happening. Or 2024. I don't remember. But they have some untitled Star Wars project in the plans one of those years. But I think that goes into what I have a prediction of. Because we get Ahsoka next year, and I think that's going to lead into the potential next movie. Ahsoka's going to be dealing with Thrawn, and she's going to, by the end of the season or series, depends on if it's just a mini series or not, it's going to be her and Sabine looking for Ezra and Thrawn. They're going to find Thrawn, but Thrawn's going to like somehow beat them in some way, shape, or form. And then he still has Ezra with him, or Ezra is left with them, but they're like, we have to take out Thrawn. He's assembling a fleet or something, trying to bring back the Empire. Something, you know?
The Imperial remnant.
Right. So it's like, all right, we need help. So then she would go to Luke, which she has a connection with, obviously. And then Luke would possibly be like, all right, I need Grogu. I need his friend Mando. I need Boba Fett. I need Han. I need Leia. And that's all going to possibly lead into a basically Heir to the Empire movie, which would be the next live action film we get, which would be basically the sequels to the true fans.
Because you get the characters in the prime.
Right. You get them in their prime. You get other fan favorite characters like Boba Fett. And then now you have a new fan favorite in Mando.
Yes. And Grogu.
And possibly others like Cobb Vanth, Black Chrysanthemum. Because, dude, we could have a sick Chewie and Chrysanthemum scene. Because of course we'd have Chewie back. I mean, come on.
Dude, you're making me want this so bad.
Yeah.
But then with Heir to the Empire, we get Mara Jade.
Right.
Let's go.
I think we'd for sure get Mara Jade.
And then we'd get Joris Kaboth, who's like the master that survived Order 66 and is fallen to the dark side.
He's just insane.
Yeah, he's gone totally nuts.
Yeah.
I was wanting that from when I read those books in English class.
Those books are excellent.
They're so dope. They are so dope. Like, I can't believe how good they are. I think it's going to go in that direction. I'd really like, I know it got delayed to like 2028, but I'd really like Star Wars Eclipse, the game. That looked very cool to explore kind of like a middle period.
I don't know why you would announce a game that's not even close to being in development, really.
Yeah, it's like, why would you spend all that money to make a cinematic trailer that is not even really like, your game could look nothing like it?
It's ridiculous.
But it was clear that they were introducing some kind of new villain, some new race.
Because it's High Republic era.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because they're.
I mean, you know me, man. I just love the Yuuzhan Vong.
Right. Well, that's what I think it would be, if I'm being honest, because you can't have Sith in that game. Like, they're not active.
No.
They're going to make Jedi Fallen Order 2, which I look forward to. And then I swear they announced some other game. Well, apparently there's some open world game being made by Ubisoft right now that has apparently been in development for a while. And then, of course, there's the KOTOR remake.
There's a new thing for Knights of the Old Republic anyway, because they made a new trailer with Malgus in it and all of that.
Yeah, that's just Old Republic, though.
Old Republic, right. Sorry.
Yeah, the MMO RPG.
Yes. So they're adding stuff to that.
Right.
There's a lot of new stuff happening. I must say, I'm kind of not really in the loop with the books and the comics anymore. They kind of looked pretty shitty.
The only
except for the new Vader comic was cool.
Yeah, I would only read the new Vader comics, like the one that's right after Revenge of the Sith, but also the one that's right after like A New Hope.
Yeah, those are both pretty sick.
Yeah, those are sick comics. And then there's just the main Star Wars line that's pretty cool, like when it first started.
Yes, I agree.
That's sick, but everything else I don't really care about.
No, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, thinking about all of that, then compared to our friends, me, you, and Jack are the ones that have stayed kind of loyal to, or at least we've kept the faith in terms of like, no. Like, I care about Star Wars enough to where like
I will keep watching it and hope
I will wait it out.
And we waited it out. I think we're out of it. If I'm being
honest. I think so too.
I really do.
I really do.
You could easily have a stinker here and there, but they know they can't fuck up Kenobi.
It's over. It's over.
I think you lose a lot of fans if that's bad.
You're touching some sacred stuff to a lot of people.
Literally, like right out of George sacred.
Yes, exactly. It's not like Mando where we're like, okay, we're after Return of the Jedi, we're making up characters. Like, no, you got young Luke. You literally have Ewan McGregor, who is universally loved.
Yeah, Uncle.
Yeah, dude, you got Joel Edgerton back. You got Hayden in the suit.
If Hayden.
You're gonna see him without the mask. You're gonna see flashbacks.
So Ewan confirmed something today.
Oh, really?
Confirmed Clone Wars Anakin.
Not just like a rumor. We could expect to see a flashback, but you're telling me he literally just verbally said like we are flashing back?
You know, I think the opening sequence is
what?
It's Anakin going through the Jedi Temple with 501st.
Ooh.
Like taking out like Padawans and Jedi and Masters. And then there could be a scene where it's like Obi-Wan fights him in the Jedi Temple, but then he wakes up from a dream.
Yeah, it's like what he wished he could have done.
Right.
Wow, that'd be awesome. Anything would be awesome. Just show me anything. To be fully satisfied, I require the general armor. I require both of them to have the live action Clone Wars armor.
When it's not doing Order 66 scenes, it's necessary.
Yes, completely. That's to make it 100%. Like, I need that. That's my favorite look, dude, especially in Battlefront, like Anakin, because that's the closest we have so far to like live action Anakin with that armor. Same with Obi-Wan.
Because they're modeled after the actors in that game.
Yeah, exactly. I need to see it in action though, and I fucking need real people in clone armor.
True.
That is essential. I mean, in Boba, the one episode, the flashback, you basically see it, but that was like 5 seconds.
Do we see Grogu in this at all? I think there's a maybe. I think there's a possibility.
Maybe not.
I think it depends on certain flashbacks. What if Obi-Wan saved Grogu?
That'd be sick. Like there'd be some kind of like maybe it's like retcon that there is another.
Well, here's my thing. You can have Vader in the back to tank, and he has a flashback to the Clone Wars. That'd be an Order 66 scene. He's about to take out Grogu, and then like you can have some Jedi like protect Grogu, and another one like grabs him.
I think that's one more thing though, is I better fucking see the Emperor.
I think Sheev's in this.
I don't see how you at least don't do a hologram.
I think
like you need to find Kenobi.
I think he'd be towards the end.
Yes.
I think it's like a 6-episode season. So I think it'd be like in episode 4, he'd show up.
Yeah. I love Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor.
Right.
So much.
I agree.
And he needs to redeem himself from Rise of Skywalker.
Agreed.
He needs a final, like, I don't want to say final, but like if it is going to be his final appearance as the Emperor, it needs to be the true Emperor.
I'm scared that this could be a last dance type of scenario.
For a lot of them.
Ewan, Hayden, Ian, possibly James Earl Jones. It's possible, unless they do a season.
James Earl Jones is the most likely. It's the final thing.
I agree. Ian's getting up there, but he's not close to James.
No, he's normal. He's chilling.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty old, but he's fine.
But again, James is an old man.
Truly.
But yeah, I mean, that's really it on the horizon, though. I mean,
yeah, I think you had a very good predictions.
I hope so. I'm hoping that's what we get is like we literally see Han, Luke, and Leia on the big screen again.
Yes. I trust that Favreau and Filoni could totally pull it off.
That's the biggest problem, man. It's like the last time we see them all together is on Endor at the victory celebration.
Well, and I think it's good too, because Filoni could totally just do the screenplay and John would be like, I've made several blockbusters. Like, I'm going to do this one.
Right.
In terms of directing.
Oh, no. Favreau would definitely direct it. I think that's why he hasn't directed anything yet. There's no way he doesn't do a movie.
Yeah, that's very true. That would be crazy if not.
There's no chance, in my opinion. I think that's what this all has to lead up to something. It's literally like this is how you do like a shared cinematic universe with Star Wars.
Yes. You have to tell way more decentralized stories that lead into something. And fuck it. I mean, even with Kenobi and Andor, you can plant seeds.
Well, because here's my thing with Mando season 3. You're gonna have Mando reclaim Mandalore, and he's gonna get all these Mandalorians with him.
Yeah.
Well, that will help against like the Thrawn like attacks too, because he'll be Mandalore. So that's why like Bo-Katan and Ahsoka will talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, hey, you remember Mando? We have a lot of help now. Like we can help you with this Thrawn situation.
And they would both be like, we both fought when the Empire was trying to destroy Mandalore and like take it over.
Right.
Why not use this as a chance to go back? That would be like Ahsoka's plead. Okay, we still have to do the Marvel one.
Right.
Which I'm excited for. We'll have to do that.
Marvel will be a long one, I feel.
Yeah. But I think everything's turning up for some reason. I'm thankful, but I don't know what it is.
The world's going to shit, but I mean, the entertainment's on a good side.
All the artistic stuff that we love is becoming good. Again, I wish I was more awake because I want to keep talking, but my eyes are literally closing as we talk.
We can literally do another Star Wars video at some point.
Yeah.
Star Wars, we can talk about whatever and go deeper into something.
You know what? I've been trying to watch the Kenobi trailer on my projector. Let me watch it on that. I'd be down to do like a review and really talk like predictions of what could be happening in this.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because I think with Kenobi, this is the last thing I'll say. It's obviously going to be saying something. And I'm just curious about like what they're going to do with it. Like, what's the point?
And why do it?
Exactly. Why do it? So I think that'd be interesting to talk about for like a 15-20 minute video.
I'm down because we can just do some predictions for the show too. We did a little bit in this, but we can go deep. We can do a full on Kenobi thing and then we can review it once it's out. So
yeah, I agree. So I'm down for all of that. Everybody be on the lookout, I guess. And if people are interested, I don't know, comment which thing you're looking forward to, I guess, the most. I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably on the Kenobi train right now, but yeah, I mean, if there's other stuff in the horizon, like tell us what you think's going to happen. I mean, who really knows?
Right. There's a lot going on. So just, leave your comments down below. Let us know what you're most excited for Star Wars. And what has been your favorite thing so far from the Disney era of Star Wars?
True. That's a good one.
As well as your least favorite. But all right, guys, I think that's going to do it. Make sure to like and subscribe and we'll catch y'all really soon.
Hell yeah. We're going to get some sleep and we'll talk to you guys in the comments.
All right. We're signing off. Bye-bye.
Peace out.